I have nothing against personally them. I mean, as person, because I know some people that knows them and they're very nice people and stuff. But could you please, when you prevent or you show something or you write an article, can you go back and read and do some research and present stuff like ITS Tactical, that is not even a medical video channel that they sell gear on for army people. They went and they did their homework and they went and they supported, and now you have another people that's like, oh yeah, we're gonna tell you that this is the best trauma kit ever and stuff. We're gonna sell it about 10 times the price of the other kits because like their big trip, the big bag that I review is like $800 because the bag there's so much gear into it, which a lot of it was not useful, can only fit in a $400 bag. So now you have someone that's buy for $800 of gear, which would probably fail them after 2 or 3 wounds. And that's what I've discussed in the video that I did about their kits. And so here's the same thing. And I was looking at stuff, and you know, when you start looking at things on eBay, they were selling our books on Ebola, and it was telling what you need to know to stay safe. Well, when you read some of their channels, it's like it was never a very danger for the American people. It was never an American for North American people. Even the Ebola, it was Ebola scare. People were telling big numbers, and if you don't believe me, this is the casualty numbers that you have. Liberia has like 10,000 case and 4,000 deaths. So they have the most death and case, well, almost case. So second death, a number of case. That 70%. Yeah, okay, so this is a big number, but let's put that in perspective. 10,000 case, okay? Population 2015, 4,500,000 people. So that's the number of case versus population, very small. And this is what the problem, well, this is what happens with Ebola, is because people buy so much, they cannot transmit it as much as they want. So there was only people that was in contact, so a healthcare professional and stuff. And when you have like case in Spain and whatever, they were mostly people that were coming back, or they were medical people. So really the only people that was in danger in those cases was people in the healthcare system. It was never about the population and stuff. And even in place where the disease was at its worst, was never really a big thing. When they had it under control, they had it under control. So it was just a lot of practice, miscommunication, mistrust about the government. So it was a cultural that made it more spreadable, not so much the disease per se. It is not like the flu, influenza, or any other outbreak. Because of that, because it has such a higher percentage of death, it's harder to transmit versus when you have the flu, because you don't die very much. It's much easier to transmit to other people. Does that mean that Ebola will never become so dangerous? And not, no, because they always talk that's another disease and stuff. But if you look, they sold this book in 2014. Why? Boom, right in the middle of everybody being afraid and stuff. And then they were talking about this late-breaking research from the University of Minnesota that they could have been stuff, and the virus could become stuff. They were selling it on fear. And there's nothing good about selling stuff on fear. You have to sell things on backing up research, and the research that they did for University of Minnesota, again, that people were stuff. So you have to contain the information that you have to do, and you have to stop selling oil, snake oil, to people. And I find a lot of time on YouTube, this is what they like to have the doom and gloom, you know, when you that's your title. Well, you like to have this and that, the things that support your channel, because it's like, oh, you know, that will be good and that sells. And then probably there's tons of people that sold that bought that book. Why? Because it was like everybody was afraid and stuff. I did a video when people started, and I said it was scared, and be careful, and here's this resource about it. Go to CDC and go for this and stuff. And I read some of them of their things they were talking about, and again, put some comments because there was some inaccurate statements in some of their articles that were there. But this is the thing: if you're going to sell yourself as an expert, if you're going to sell yourself as this is the thing we do and we're the most popular things, and you actually even they seem to be like from the in the book there, they was saying they go on TV shows and stuff. If you're going to do this, can you tell me then how come me on a part-time and just doing that as a hobby, I can find much better information and more accurate information that supports the claims that I do, and I have a little bit more information about this? Could I be wrong? Of course. And please, if anybody thinks I'm wrong, like, just write it in comments and stuff and show me the things I'm going to be wrong, and I'm be more than willing to change my mind and do stuff. But can you please stop selling fear and things that are I'm the best and we're the only one that does this and stuff, because it's not true, and there's other people out there, and there's better people out there, really. And when I read most of the articles and stuff, and there's some even like when I did my articles that or my things on search on the infectious disease and stuff, you go on the website, there was tons of times that they didn't even have like any of the disease I was talking about, which yet they were very prominent in North America and stuff. Like they were talking about cholera, which is very low presentation. The cholera from that cause like diarrhea and stuff. The cholera that caused the skin issue, yes, was very prominent in during the Katrina. There was some case about that, but how come there was no information, no talk about this, or even psoriasis, that is a disease that is the most common disease vehiculated by zoonotic disease? How come that was not on the website? I went and I checked, and there's no articles out of the 600 and 700 articles that they always vent themselves that they wrote and everything. How come there's no article on this when it's the most prominent zoonotic disease that is spread by people? So again, I'm sorry about the rant and stuff, but it blows my mind when it becomes a contest of popularity when we're talking about people's life, people's safety, and people's security. I never take that I never take that lightly. I never did. I even quit job in the past that I really liked because patient care was not to what I thought was supposed to be patient care. So this is why I'm so present in this, and I have like such a strong opinion, because at the end it's your safety, it's you gonna pay, it's your mother that's gonna pay, your family, your sister, whoever you're gonna help. This is who's gonna pay when you follow things like this. And this what hurts me more. It's because if you want to do X because it's your own opinion and this is what you want to do and stuff, fine, you can do. You want to believe in aliens or something, fine. I mean, it's your own opinion and that's it and that's all. But when people believe and they want to have, because you know they're in search of information and stuff, so because they really want to make a change, and then they're presented with things that seems right, but when you start picking up on them and stuff, and they have no legitimacy and or are filled with misinformation, then it gets to me. And so as you can see with this video and the video link that I've saw, it really gets to me. And like I said, it was when I saw this kit on a channel, I was kind of surprised, because it's promoting stuff that really it becomes like a money maker, and I hate that. And I like out of here now, I don't make any money, and even if people would submit the money, why I don't need more money. I have enough to with my toys and stuff and everything. So, and I don't do this for this. I do this for helping people. That's what I do as my job. That's what I do as my career. That's always I've been doing like this when I want volunteers and stuff, and I'm here to help people. But there's a good way of helping people and there's a bad way of helping people. And giving misinformation to people to pay and make money and sells books like this, and I'm sure the intentions are good, but could you please do your homework? You know, like if you would have read and check on stuff, and even in the midst of the during the crisis, I mean, you know, at the hospital, we had training about this, and everybody was freaking out and stuff. But this is where expert and knowledge and stuff needs to be brought out, not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money out of that, and by promoting things that are, oh my god, it's not even true, you know. So, and it was not even needed. Like a book like this, there was never a risk of going through the population. Never in my mind, through the whole Ebola now and after and everything, it was never a risk that it would have spread outside. And if it would have been, I would have been the first one on YouTube to kind of like, hey, be careful, do this, and protect yourself and stuff. But there was never, because of the way it transmits itself, the way that you have to be in contact with this, the way that the disease was reporting. And again, don't forget the numbers. Yes, they were big, and yes, it was the biggest crisis and stuff, but don't forget that newspaper has to sell their stuff. And when you look at the numbers, 10,000 cases over a population of 4.5 million people, that's not a lot. Yes, okay, it's one disease that did all that stuff, and 28,000 over this, but if I would add all the population of those ones, that's not a lot. Like 10,000 cases out of 4 million, that's a very low numbers. And why? Because of this. Because the highest rate of death, people die, so they don't have the chance to transmit the disease. Versus you take something that doesn't kill people, like influenza, or they do kill, but it has a less percentage of mortality, then it can spread. Then yes, your numbers will be higher up. Why? Because of it. Because it's spread, and then it gets to more the people that you shouldn't be able, and it's harder to contain. Versus in this disease, there was no... The carrier is very hard to bring up, because you have to be like, even the people that were sick, they had to vomit their guts off, and you had to be like almost taking a bath in their secretion. Of course, like as soon as they were at a certain point, little drop of that vomiting, you would be sick. But the people, when they're that sick, they're not able to be outside. They're not able to be with other people, and so that's why it was never really a risk. As soon as they're easy to know who is sick before they get to that point. Anyway, so that was my little rant. I'm sorry again about the video, but I felt like it was my responsibility to make it, and I'll talk to you soon.